we got to address the million-dollar question, and please, let me know your thoughts down below. Did the little bro, Ohio State, just expose the SEC? Ohio State pulled their starters with 10 minutes left in the fourth quarter. We treated Tennessee like a cupcake FCS team. Hey, Tennessee fans, I'm talking to you. The same ones that were talking all that crap last week. Me personally, and this is just me, I wouldn't take this level of disrespect, but you do you. I do apologize if I don't sound as enthusiastic as I normally sound in videos, and if I sound a little weird, it's because I'm sick. I've been sick the past few days. It's why I haven't addressed this up until this point. But ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, let me bring this up so y'all can see it. And I'm sure some of y'all have already noticed. We did it. We hit, oh, you got the way blocking the K there. We hit our goal of hitting 355,000 subscribers before Christmas. Clap it up again. It was a heck of a goal because when I set this goal, we had 343,000, I believe. So we gained like 12,000 subscribers within a month. Now we did set two goals. I did a short one, 350K. Then once we got to 350, we extended it to 355. We set a goal and we crushed it. I believe we actually hit 355K a couple of days ago. I just haven't addressed it because, like I said, I've been terribly sick. And I just want to give a major shout out to not just all the new subscribers, I'll touch on that in just a second, but to all the people that have been subscribed to the channel, been watching the channel, liking the video, supporting for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 years, maybe even 6 years. I can't thank you guys enough. You are what makes this channel what it is, and you're what makes the community what it is, and that's the most important part. Thank you so much. And I could sit up here for the next 3 minutes and express my gratitude, but I think you get that. Secondly, to all the new subscribers that helped us get to 355K, number one, thank you for joining. Number two, I hope you continue to support us and enjoy your time here. There's many more things I could say and I want to say, but I know you're here for the football content. Just wanted to express my gratitude. Thank you. Let's get into a video. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, hope all of you having a great Christmas break. If not, hope this video can make it a little bit better. Man, oh man, it is time to address a situation that a lot of people have been thinking, but not only just thinking about, talking about as well. And that is no other than the little bro, Ohio State, Tennessee, Indiana, SMU, and the entire SEC. Now, I know exactly what you're sitting here wondering, Matt. What in the crap are you talking about, man? And you're going to see in just a second, or not even just a second, you're going to see right now. What did I tell you after Indiana got curb stomped by Notre Dame on Friday night? Told you guys, try to warn you, Indiana has a 0% chance to win the college football national championship, and by putting them in the playoff, we're just wasting a spot. They can't compete with teams like Notre Dame and yada, 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 etc., etc. I told you SMU was going to get crushed by Penn State. What happens? SMU gets crushed by Penn State, and what I get up in front of the camera and tell you guys. Similar thing, right? That's what y'all wanted. You wanted SMU to get in. You wanted Alabama, South Carolina, Ole Miss, whoever to get left out so you could see SMU lay a big old-fashioned egg on national television. Anybody with any football knowledge to the slightest knew SMU and Indiana, they were not going to compete in these playoff games. It's really as simple as that. But rather less, without the games being played, there were still some people at hope and still some people wishful thinking out there, which is totally fine. And I'll be the first to tell you, and I haven't brought this up enough, Indiana and SMU are not the first blowouts we've seen in college football history or college football playoff history. We've seen blowouts before, even in national championship history. Remember when Alabama, since we were talking about Notre Dame, beat the absolute crap out of Notre Dame? When was that, 2011? So blowouts, even in championship games where you think you got two of the best teams, they're not uncommon. But, and I have an astronomically big but, with that being said, Indiana and SMU, it's a little different circumstance. Whether you actually want to admit this or not in the comment section, it's up to you, but you know it deep down inside that Indiana and SMU were not worthy of being in this playoff, and they're not that good. You can try to lie to yourself in the comment section, that's fine, but I can't be the only one who is sick and tired of pretending like Indiana and SMU are worth the crap. The only thing people have clinged to with Indiana and SMU is, oh yeah, well, they won their games. Which to me doesn't amount to a hill of beans if you don't beat top 25 teams, but I guess people just don't want to bring that up, or does it matter? I have no idea. The committee showed us this year, you can wet the bed against top 25 teams And it quite literally doesn't matter. Not just with one team, but with two teams in Indiana and SMU. But whoa. Hold on. I know all these nerds and dorks will run to the comment section. Matt's just mad Alabama got left out. Matt's salty Bama got left out. Matt hates SMU and Indiana because Bama got left out. No, it has nothing to do with it. If you've been keeping up with the channel, you would know I thought South Carolina should have got the last spot. So if you really want to bring up something, you should bring up that. I personally wouldn't have cared if the committee put in South Carolina, Ole Miss, or Alabama. It should have been one of those three. Why? Because they beat top 25 teams. And we should be talking about this more. As much as we sit up here and debated who should get the final spot, Alabama, South Carolina, Ole Miss, or SMU, why weren't we talking about Indiana more? Why was Indiana just given a free pass? They quite literally did nothing all year long. Nothing. The one ranked game they played in, they got blown out. Heck, man, at least SMU competed with the BYUs and old Clemson in the championship. Indiana didn't even do that against Little Bro State. Speaking of Little Bro State, I know what some of you are flying to the comment section and say, Matt, Little Bro State just blew out an SEC team. What do you guys say about that? And we're getting to it. It's actually the main reason we're even making this video. My point is, in sharing all that with you, when Indiana, this was before the Little Bro State and Tennessee game, when Indiana and SMU got blown out, dog walk, curb stomp, Donkey Kong smash, whatever you want to call it, in both of their games, it was trending all over social media, and everybody's like, yep, we shouldn't have put those teams in. Look what happened. Now, me personally, do I have, or did I have, I guess a better way of saying it, a big problem with the committee putting in SMU and Indiana? No, absolutely not. They had good seasons, but here's where my questions arise for the committee. Are we doing, and I genuinely don't know, is it the best 12 teams or the most deserving 12 teams? Or, and this is the third option, is it a combination of both? I would love to know, and if I had to give you my best educated guess, I would say it's a combination of both. Although they say it's quote-unquote the best 12 teams, I don't think they do that. The reason I say I don't think they do that is because there's no way anybody part of that committee actually believes that Indiana is better than Ole Miss, South Carolina, or Bama, and same thing with SMU. People part of that committee don't think SMU's better than South Carolina. Did you see how South Carolina finished the season? And I personally believe out of Ole Miss, South Carolina, and Alabama, Alabama's the worst out of the bunch. I don't know what the actual criteria of the committee is. I'm not in that room. I'm not talking to them. But if it is a combination of deserving and best, I don't have a problem with the way they did things. Nobody in their right mind should be furious whether you're a fan of Alabama, South Carolina, or who's our team? Oh, yeah, Ole Miss, that you didn't make the 12-team playoff because guess what? You lost 3 games. However, with all that being said, here's where things really, and I mean really, start to get interesting. The SMU and Indiana game took place before the Tennessee and Ohio State game on Saturday night, which meant all these SEC fans were clamoring, trying to tell people, yep, told you shouldn't have put Indiana and SMU in. It was a waste of 2 teams and yada, yada, yada. Well, then what happened? Tennessee proceeded to drive up to what they labeled as quote-unquote Neyland North and get their butts kicked. Tennessee got a late touchdown at the end to make it better than what it actually was. Realistically, they lost 42-10, but we'll just say the final score. Ohio Little Bro State smashed the Volunteers 42-17. I'm going to repeat that. 42-17, and it wasn't even that close. And you already know what the entire college football world did to the SEC. They pulled out a good old-fashioned Uno reverse card. That same logic SEC fans, including myself, was using against Indiana and SMU. Well, college football fans were using that against the SEC because of what happened with Tennessee. Here's what people were saying, stuff like this. If you as an SEC fan are trying to tell me that Indiana and SMU shouldn't have gotten to the playoff because they got blown out, well, can't we say the same thing about Tennessee? And I guess technically, yeah, you can say the same thing. And it's not only just a fair point, but it's a great argument to use against the SEC fans. I do think it's a little different because Ohio State is much better, in my humble opinion, than Penn State and Notre Dame. Where I'm trying to go with this is out of Ohio State, Penn State, Notre Dame, it's least embarrassing to get blown out by the most expensive and talented roster in all college football in Ohio State. Either way, we're not going to use it as an excuse. Bottom line is SEC team got blown out. As most of you know, your boy Matt has been severely sick the past few days, which also means I have not been looking at the comment section recently. And on my reaction video to the Ohio State-Tennessee game, I have not looked at the comment section, but I'm looking at it right now, and it has 1.4 thousand comments. Gonna say that again, 1.4 1,000. I have no idea what you guys are saying. Probably saying some of the stuff I already said in this video, but yeah, let's take a look at it. Let's channel this comment. It has a bunch of likes. This is from Joshua Finn. Because of Matt's previous video's logic, the following must be true. Tennessee got blown out and therefore was not a playoff team. The committee made a mistake putting them in. The committee was correct not to put more lower level SEC teams in to get blown out by Penn State like Ohio State blew out Tennessee. The quote-unquote SEC schedule must be terrible if their third best team looks so awful against the third best Big Ten team. Sorry, Matt, you can't have it both ways. This one got over 400 likes. This is from Nathan Van Dyke. Hope I'm saying your username correctly. Tennessee was the only, in all caps, team in the playoffs that played against backups in the fourth quarter. No one pulled their starters except Ohio State. Indiana was outgained 120 yards, SMU was outgained by 80, and Clemson was outgained by 70. Tennessee was outgained by 210 yards. Yes, SMU lost by 28, but 14 of Penn State's points came on picks, so SMU only allowed 24 offensive points. Tennessee allowed 42 offensive points and almost 500 yards. No one got beat worse than Tennessee. If anyone didn't belong, it was Tennessee. The same Tennessee that beat Alabama. 100% correct. I understand people are going to attack me in the comment section, come after me. Rightfully so. Hey, Ohio State, they blew out an SEC team, and I always, I guess you could say, hype up the SEC. And I don't think anybody that watched the playoffs this most recent weekend is going to disagree with this. Tennessee looked like the worst playoff team, even worse than Indiana and SMU. If SMU had a half-decent quarterback that knew what he was doing, they probably only lose by 10 or 14. They still lose, but not as bad as they did. Ohio State pulled their starters with 10 minutes left in the fourth quarter. We treated Tennessee like a cupcake FCS team. Hey, Tennessee fans, I'm talking to you. The same ones that were talking all that crap last week. Me personally, and this is just me, I wouldn't take this level of disrespect, but you do you. Oh, here we go. We got a good one. This is from Rhett Mueller. Shout out to Rhett. I see him comment a lot. What's your argument for the SEC now, Daddy Matty? Number one, don't call me that again. That's weird. And then number two, there is no argument. Look, if you expect me to do this whole hypothetical thing of, oh, well, yeah, Tennessee, they're just not a good SEC team. If you would have put Alabama, Ole Miss, or South Carolina up against Ohio State in Ohio State's home stadium, they would have given a much better fight. I'm not going to sit up here and do that. It's as simple as this, guys. Is this what you want me to come out and say? Ohio State owned Tennessee, and they owned the SEC in that playoff game. They did. There's no other way around it. As much hate as we give Ohio State, you got to give them credit when credit is due. Them boys went out there and they balled out, but let's also not act like your boy Matt did not pick Ohio State to win the game, because I did. Okay, this is a good one. Mac V. Diddy, not my name, by the way, but whatever, I'll let it slide. When are you going to realize Alabama would go 6-6 in Conference USA? This video is not about Alabama, but since you brought them up, the way we played this year in some of our games, that might be a fortunate outcome, and I'll leave it at that. Alabama looked pathetic this year in multiple games, even in some of their wins. Let's read off this one from Aviator Chicken. That is probably one of the coolest usernames I've ever seen in YouTube history. I've never seen a fan base talk more crap than Vol Twitter. Like those of you not on social media think we're exaggerating and have no idea what we witnessed this past week. So Mr. Aviator Chicken, shout out to a user. Dude, I can't get over that. That's a top tier username. He saw what I saw on Twitter. And to see them get absolutely destroyed is the funniest thing I've ever seen. Hope you feel better, Matt. Go Dogs. Thank you for those kind words at the end. I am feeling a little bit better. But, man, when I was doing them reaction videos on Saturday, y'all have no idea. And Sunday as well, I was dying in bed. Welcome to the Big Ten. Matt be biased to the SEC. And can't. What is. This guy's just making up words. How long is this word? Matt be biased to the SEC and can't stop bringing the excuses. It was so long it formed another sentence. Mr. Wavy says, called it. SEC teams come up north where it's freezing cold, and this is how Big Ten teams will treat you. Matt, put some respect on the Big Ten. Absolutely not. The Big Ten sucks. Y'all think because you beat Tennessee in one playoff game, I'm going to respect the Big Ten? They're awful. The Big Ten is one of the worst conferences. You have two good teams every single year. This year's an exception. All right, I admit it. Penn State is a really good football team. Whoa, what does that make it? 3 good teams? Come on, man. What are we doing? I will do this, however. If you want me to give you respect for winning the game, yeah, I'll do that 100%, and I'll clap it up to Penn State and Ohio State for winning. But as far as it goes for this entire conference, no. By the way, let me remind some of y'all. Do y'all know who played in the Big Ten championship game last year? Sorry, I'm laughing. It's just crazy. Iowa. The Hawkeyes, the team that can't even average 10 points per game, played in the Big Ten Championship last year. This isn't a hypothetical, by the way, it happened. That same Iowa team played Tennessee in a bowl game last year, and Tennessee beat them by 40. Do as you please with that information. What is this? Matt B. Kitty? Nah, that might be an automatic ban. It's just like everybody else in the dirty South gets the flu. All right, bro. Now we're taking personal shots at my health. That's crazy, though. Like, I'm grinding my butt off trying to upload these videos for you guys, and then dude's just ragging on me, joking on me because I'm sick. This game proves Bama did not belong in the playoffs. Sure. Matt sounds demoralized at a rival loss. The SEC has no pure hatred. What even is this comment? I stated in the video multiple times I'm sick. So if I'm a little down or whatnot, that's why. Joe Davis says, Tennessee didn't deserve a playoff spot and SEC are frauds in all caps. Is that true? Let me know in the comment section. What do you think about that? There's many more comments I can read off. I mean, there's quite literally thousands and thousands of comments. We got to address the $1 million question, and please, let me know your thoughts down below. Did the little bro, Ohio State, just expose the SEC? I really want you to think about this. I don't think it's a simple answer. Because SEC fans before the Tennessee and Ohio State game was clamoring about, oh, yeah, Alabama or South Carolina or Ole Miss, they should have got in over Indiana and SMU. Look what happened to those teams. But then you see a team in Tennessee who, let me remind you, beat Alabama, get smashed. I'm talking about steamrolled smashed by Ohio State. So what does that say about Alabama? But more importantly, what does that say about the SEC if Tennessee was one of the better teams in the SEC? I tell you this much, it's not a good look, and there's really nothing you can say if you're an SEC fan. Now, for me personally, it still doesn't change the fact that I don't think SMU is better than South Carolina, Ole Miss, or Alabama, and I don't think anybody's going to disagree with that. But at the end of the day, it does spark up a really intriguing argument. But I'm going to divert back to this. Alabama wasn't that good this year. Neither was Ole Miss, and I don't think South Carolina, although they ended the year on a hot note or a hot streak, whatever you want to call it, they didn't have enough juice left in the tank. Ole Miss, South Kakalaki, or Alabama, they were not going to win national championship. However, they were much better teams and were going to make for much better games than what happened with SMU and Indiana. I'm standing 10 toes down on that. Now, as far as it goes for what happened with Tennessee, that's just your good old-fashioned blowout. Tennessee, there's no ifs, ands, or buts about it, deserved and should have been in the playoff, and they made the playoff, and they just got blown out. I think the Ohio State-Tennessee game says more about Ohio State than it says about Tennessee. What you saw in that game was nothing more, nothing less than a pissed off Ohio State football team, and that is a dangerous team. But as far as it goes for people using the Tennessee game as a reason to state, oh yeah, I told you the SEC's overrated and we shouldn't have put in Alabama, South Carolina, Ole Miss, whoever, it's such a tricky argument because I don't know what the goal of the playoff committee is. Do we want the best teams, deserving, or combination? If you want the 12 best teams, then no, Indiana, SMU shouldn't have been in. If you want a combination of best and deserving, then yeah, they probably should have got in. It's an endless cycle that we could sit up here and talk about for 40 minutes. I'll end it off here. Let me know your thoughts down below. But